Check. Hello. Am I recording? I have signal? Yes. I'm convinced that this is one of the best compact recording devices out there. And not only is it really good, it's really idiot-proof. It's the Zoom L6. And I just got it recently, and I've been doing some recording on it. And it's really incredible at not making mistakes, which if you've done multi-track recording, you know how easy it is to mess up and how awful it feels when you're done recording, an interview or a really great take on a guitar or a keyboard or something, and something went wrong and that recording is gone, or it just doesn't exist to begin with. It's the worst feeling, and having something that's really idiot-proof like this guy is really, really great. The L6 has 3 features in particular that make it really good for recording, and I'll talk about those briefly, but just as a demonstration, you can see right now I'm actually recording on the L6, and that's what you're hearing right now. And you can also see that I'm not monitoring, even though I could plug in some headphones into the monitor, but I'm not, because I'm not worried about it, because I know it's recording and I know it's going to be good quality. Before I jump into those 3 really great recording features, I just want to talk really quickly about what this thing is and what it can do. This is really a 3-in-1 device, I would say. It is a basic mixing board where you can plug different things into it and mix those signals together and get a signal out of it that you can run through a PA or studio monitors or headphones. So it's good for live bands or for streaming. The second thing it can do is it is a USB audio interface, which means you can plug this directly into your computer using the USB-C port right in the front. And then in your DAW of choice, whether it's Logic or Ableton or Pro Tools or whatever, you can pull up individual tracks and get instruments directly from each of the individual inputs into your DAW. And the third thing that it is a recording device. You can put a micro SD card right in the side here, and you can multi-track record every individual track as well as the master output directly to the SD card. And because it's so small and compact and runs on 4 AA batteries, it's really great for portable recording. So if you need to do an interview or you're trying to do a YouTube video like this and you just want to bring this little guy with you, it's really great for recording. As far as inputs go across the front, you can see there are 6 input channels, and the first 2 have an XLR with a 1/4-inch combo, so you can plug in a microphone or a guitar or bass or anything like that. And then the next 4 channels are all stereo line level inputs, so you can plug in a keyboard or a sampler or drum machine or anything like that. So it's really great for recording if you're doing, guitar and voice, or if you're recording a couple of samplers and a drum machine and a keyboard. It can really handle all that stuff pretty easily. And then for each channel, you've got an EQ with a sweepable mid. You've got some basic effects like reverbs and a couple of delays. You can pan, you can adjust the level of each one. And each one of these knobs on the bottom is assignable to all those features. So that's why there's only one knob on each channel. You switch the function of that knob based on which parameter you're trying to adjust. There's also savable scenes on the far right here, so you can save presets and load them up. There's a compressor on the master knob down there, so you can get a little bit of compression going. And there's also sound pads there, so you can have, a little beat tag or an intro or outro for an interview or something like that. So it's got a lot of really good, basic, useful features that you would want on a basic mixer. But the reason that I bought this was for its incredible recording features, which again, like I said, they seem like a lack of features, but I'm telling you, they're actually features. And the first feature is that it has 32-bit recording. And that just means that each channel essentially can't clip. And if you notice, there's no input gains for any of the channels. And that's because that 32-bit recording gives it an extremely high dynamic range for each channel. And supposedly, technically, there's ways you can clip, but I've tested this and I cannot get it to clip. I can yell as loud as I want into this microphone. I can plug in a keyboard and turn it up all the way. I cannot get any of the recordings to clip, which is great because if you've used a traditional mixing board and done some recording, you know how bad clipping can sound and how much it can actually just ruin an entire recording session. So the fact that you literally just can't clip is incredible. It's very, very useful, and it makes it great for when I'm doing stuff like this. I don't need to be monitoring. I know I'm not clipping. I know the sound's going to be good. The second recording feature that also seems like a lack of features is you'll notice there's no record arm buttons for each of the tracks, meaning that it's actually just recording every single track all at once. So right now I'm currently recording 2 mono tracks, 4 stereo tracks, as well as the stereo master out, which I don't need most of those tracks. I only need that one single track from this microphone. So why would this be a good thing? Initially, I thought this was awful. I really didn't want to take up tons of space on a memory card and just have all these ridiculous tracks that are just empty. Well, if you've ever forgot to record arm a track and you're recording 5 different instruments, but you're missing your bass or something like that, again, that's the worst possible feeling. You've ruined an entire take or an entire session by just missing out on one instrument. With this, you'll never forget to record arm anything because you can't record arm anything because you're always just recording everything all at once. And my concerns about recording space on the SD card were pretty quickly relieved when I did out the math and I did some testing to figure out just how much space all this recording is taking up. So with all 7 of these tracks, you're taking up about 8 gigs for each hour of recording, which is actually really not all that much considering how big and cheap SD cards are getting nowadays. When I purchased this, I was able to get a 128 gig SD card for I think about $10, even though maybe they're normally $20, but by the time you're watching this, they could be even a lot cheaper than that. And then between 128 gigs with 8 gigs per hour, that means I have 16 hours of record time on this tiny little SD card that's in this tiny little board. And that's plenty. I would never need more than 16 hours of record time in one session. So when I go to grab the file that I need off of this from this recording, I'm just going to grab that one mic file and then just delete everything else. And it's that simple. I'm going to have tons of space on this card. And then the third really great recording feature, which again seems like a lack of a feature, is that none of these parameters are being recorded to the individual tracks except for that master output, which means that I'm not going to be able to record any EQ or any of the effects on my mic to the recording that's being done on the SD card. Which again seems bad, but that also means you can't screw anything up. So maybe if I accidentally had my highs turned way up and my lows turned all the way down, that's not going to get printed to the SD card on this recording. And that's really, really helpful for, again, idiot-proof recording. There's really no way to mess up recording on this. As long as I'm getting a signal and that recording button is orange, that means I'm recording and I'm getting a good signal and it's going to sound good. And for someone like me, when I'm recording, I might be playing an instrument or I'm talking to the camera like this. I'm distracted. I'm not able to check that my device is recording and getting a good signal and not clipping all the time. This is kind of perfect for me because I just need to make sure that that recording's good and I don't want to think about it or worry about it. And it's recording. This sounds good. This is what you're hearing right now. You're hearing the recording off the device. I'm not worried about how it sounds. I know it's going to sound good. So that's extremely valuable to me. And I think that would be valuable to a lot of other people too. So hopefully you found this helpful. The Zoom L6 is definitely my new favorite recording device. And I have a feeling I'll have this around for a long time just because it's so small and easy to use. But thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.